All right, let's talk about the IGCSE informal email. You know, it's one of those tasks where so many easy marks just disappear. But don't worry, stick with me for a bit, and I'm going to show you a super simple method to nail a perfect 15 out of 15 every single time.
So, does this sound familiar? You've written an email to a friend for the exam. You think you've done a pretty good job, and then the score comes back and it's just not what you expected. If that's you, you are definitely not alone. And the reason why is usually way simpler than you'd think.
Okay, so here's the deal. According to the actual Cambridge Examiner reports, most students trip up on the same three things. First off, they end up writing a story, not a conversation. Second, they'll pour all their effort into one bullet point and then just rush through the other two. And the third big one? The tone is all wrong. It's way too formal, it just doesn't sound like you're writing to a friend at all.
Now listen to this, because it's super important. Just fixing these three little mistakes can boost your score by up to 6 marks. We're talking about the difference between a C and an A, just like that. So yeah, let's go get you those marks, shall we?
You see, the secret isn't just about writing perfect English. It's about knowing what the examiners actually want to see. And the best part? It's not some big mystery. They literally tell us exactly what they're looking for.
When an examiner reads your email, they really only have 2 big questions in their head. The first one is for your content marks, all 6 of them. And it's simple. Did you answer all 3 bullet points? That's it. The second question is for your language marks, a massive 9 points. And they're asking, does this sound natural? Does it sound like a real person writing a friendly email? It's a communication test, not just a grammar test. That's the key right there.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Check this out. This is a direct quote from an official Cambridge Examiner report. The most effective responses drew the reader in. They want you to use an informal interactional style. What does that actually mean? They want a conversation. They want it to feel real.
So the big question is, how do we make sure we hit all those marks every single time? Well, I'm going to give you a simple 4-step plan. A blueprint, really. It takes all the guesswork out of it and is basically designed to get you those top marks.
And here it is. It's 4 simple steps. Decode the task, plan your points, write with tone, and then develop and engage. That's it. Let's break down exactly what each of those means.
Okay, step 1, decode the task. Before you even think about writing, you need to figure out 2 things. First, who are you writing to? In this case, it's a friend. Easy. Second, what are the 3 things you absolutely must include? Find those bullet points and underline them. Think of it as your content checklist. All right, step 2, plan your points. Now this is the step that so many people skip, and it's a huge mistake. Just take 1 minute, seriously, that's all, and quickly brainstorm 1 or 2 sentences for all 3 bullet points. This little step guarantees you don't run out of things to say for that last point.
Next up, step 3, write with tone. This is where you make sure you sound like a human being, not a robot writing an essay. You want to use contractions. You know, I'm, your, can't. Talk to your friend. Use their name. Use the word you. Just keep it light, natural, and friendly.
And finally, step 4, develop and engage. So you take those little sentences you planned back in step 2, and you flesh them out. Turn them into full sentences, maybe add a little extra detail. And remember that examiner quote about being interactional? The easiest way to do that is to ask your friend a question. It's a brilliant little trick that shows the examiner you know this is supposed to be a conversation. Okay, so theory's one thing, right? But let's see how this whole method actually works in practice. We're going to walk through a real student's answer, one that scored a perfect 15 out of 15, and I'll show you exactly how they use these 4 steps to do it. So here's the task we're working with. We need to email our friend Emma, and the 3 points are: explain what happened to the jacket we borrowed, apologize and say what we're going to do about it, and explain why we need the jacket again soon. Pretty straightforward.
All right, take a look. This is the email that got a perfect 15. Now, at first glance, it just looks like a normal, simple email, right? But trust me, every single word in there is working hard to score marks. Let's zoom in and see how.
Check out the opening line. Hi, Emma. Bam. That's step 1, knowing who you're writing to. Then, I'm reaching out. There's our contraction. That's step 3, getting the tone right. It's friendly, it's direct, and it immediately signals to the examiner, yep, this person knows the rules of the game.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's compare. On the left, we've got our 15 out of 15 answer. On the right, a response that really struggled. You can see the good one develops each point nice and clearly. The other one?
It's kind of repetitive and the language is a bit muddled. The difference is just night and day when you put them next to each other.
And here's the proof in the pudding. The examiner's comments for the high-scoring answer basically just describe our method. When they say skillful coverage and development of the 3 bullet points, that's our step 2 and step 4 right there. And examples of interaction with the reader, that's exactly what we talked about in step 4 with engaging your friend.
Now let's flip it. For the weaker answer, the examiner said things like repetition of ideas, limits development. That's what happens when you skip step 2, the planning. You just end up saying the same thing over and over. The takeaway here is so simple. A good plan and the right tone make all the difference between a low score and a perfect one. Phew, okay, we've gone through a lot, so let's boil this all down to the essentials. I want to give you one simple final checklist that you can mentally run through in your exam. Just remember this 4-step scoring plan. Step 1, decode, who and what. Step 2, plan your 3 points. Step 3, use a friendly, informal tone. And step 4, develop your ideas and engage the reader. That is your recipe for a perfect score, right there.
Look, this information is only useful if you actually put it into practice. So here's my challenge to you. As soon as you're done here, go find a practice question, an old IGCSE paper. Try out this 4-step method for yourself. Don't just watch this and forget it. Actually do it and see how it feels. You've absolutely got this.